folks to my analysis for FIFA Men's World Cup Qatar 2022 Group C. In this video I'll give my analysis on the four teams, Argentina, Mexico, Poland and Saudi Arabia, and make a prediction as to who might go through. Huge group this one, the group of Messi. How will he do in his last World Cup? Let's see. We'll get underway with a look at Mexico. It's Mexico time. Here they are again, yet again, 17th appearance at the World Cup, and it seems like they're always there and about. In fact, 7 times in a row, Mexico have gone through the group and qualified for the knockout stages. Will it be 8? Can they do it again this time? Or will they go one step further and make the quarterfinals like they did in 1970 and 1986 when they hosted? That will be their goal going into the tournament. Some interesting form leading up to this particular event. Now they play Argentina, Poland and Saudi Arabia in their group. Their last 3 friendlies were against Sweden, Iraq and Colombia, proxies for those 3 sides. Lost to Sweden, lost to Colombia, beat Iraq, so it doesn't really bode well form-wise. They did finish second in CONCACAF qualifying, which sounds good, to Canada on goal difference, but not when you consider that historically they usually dominate CONCACAF qualifying. Didn't manage to do so this time, so some question marks over how dominant the Mexican side is and how they'll fare at the World Cup. All that said, the biggest issue with the Mexican side is looking at the squad, and although it is a well-balanced squad with half the players playing in the domestic league and the other half being overseas based, the big talking point in Mexico is the omission of Javier Hernandez, Chicharito, the ex-Manchester United and West Ham striker, banging in the goals for LA Galaxy, averaging more than a goal every 2 games. At 34, he's been overlooked from the squad. The record scorer for Mexico at World Cups, actually scored the winner against South Korea that put them through last time. He's been overlooked as Mexico looks to the future. Strange decision, I think, considering that 3 of the other players are playing their 5th and 4th World Cups as well, so hardly an issue of looking to the future. Mexico will rely heavily on Raul Jimenez, the Wolverhampton Wanderers striker, although he's only just coming back from injury himself, so it could be pretty dicey. Mexico are facing Poland in their first game, a must-win match, and they'll need to get something from that. And I think if it's 0-0 with 5 minutes to go, they'll be singing Chicharito's name from the terraces. It could get ugly. But anyway, Mexico have a lot of experienced campaigners and may just have enough to sneak through. We shall see. And Poland go into the tournament as experienced campaigners. It's their 9th appearance on the big stage, with the best performance of 3rd in 1974 and 1982. They've never progressed beyond the group stage after 1986. A bit of a while ago, something they'll want to rectify. 2018 going out in the group as the seeded team. This time they're not seeded and they find themselves in Group C alongside Argentina, Mexico and Saudi Arabia. How will they do? Well, they got through qualifying, had to go to the playoffs, qualified at the expense of Sweden, beating them in the final. Since then, a bit of a mixed bag, some indifferent form. A couple of good wins against Chile and Wales, defeat against the Netherlands, Belgium, a second defeat against Belgium, a 6-1 thrashing back in June. Not a good result for the Polish. Looking at their squad, and this is probably the most interesting thing for Poland, 26-player roster. They play in 14 different leagues, if you count the lower leagues in a couple of countries they're based in. Real eclectic bunch. You think of Robert Lewandowski, the main man, the striker, one of the best strikers in the world in the last 10 years. Still there, leading the line and still banging in the goals in club football for Barcelona. Has never scored at the World Cup. And that's really something that he will want to rectify, and he'll be pivotal to Polish hopes for progressing from this group. They're managed by Czesław Michniewicz, former player. It'll be his job to bind the team together into a successful unit. They've got Mexico in their first game, vital to going through. I think those two will be looking at the game and thinking that's the most important fixture to secure progression in a group with Argentina. If they do manage to get through and beat Mexico, there will be some celebrations in the Midlands, in the UK. Very, very strong Aston Villa connection in the Polish lineup with Matty Cash and Jan Bednarek starting in both the Aston Villa and the Polish defence. How will they do? Poland will be competitive and they have a very good chance of making it. Let's find out how it goes a bit later on. Saudi Arabia line up for their 6th appearance on the big stage at the World Cup, having gone out in the group stages in 2018. In fact, from their 5 previous World Cup appearances, they've only made it out of the group just the once in 1994. They'll be hoping to build on that in 2022. They topped their group in Asian qualifying, finishing ahead of Japan and Australia, building a reputation for having a solid defence and being well organised in midfield and at the back, if perhaps a little timid up front. In fact, we look at their last 10 fixtures prior to the tournament, although there were 3 defeats in there to Venezuela, Colombia and Croatia, they never conceded more than 1 goal in any of those games. However, that proud record will come under some pretty serious scrutiny as they have Argentina in their first group game, followed by matches with Mexico and Poland, which I suggest they'll be targeting for some points. They're coached by Jamie Lannister, Game of Thrones lookalike Hervé Renard. You may remember him from the last World Cup coaching Morocco, an experienced World Cup campaigner. He knows what a World Cup is all about. Some concerns over experience in the player roster, all 26 players playing in the Saudi Domestic League, and in fact 12 from one club, Al Hilal. Salem Al-Dosari scored a goal in the last World Cup, ex-Villarreal winger. He's with the team again and will be key in their efforts going forward. How will the Saudis do? Could be a tough game first up, but we'll see what they're made of when they face Mexico and Poland in the later fixtures. Predictions a bit later on. And Argentina, the seeded team and undisputed standout lineup in Group C. It's their 18th appearance at the World Cup. 2-time winners, 1978 and of course 1986. They went out in the round of 16 in 2018. Looking imperious going into this tournament in contrast to 2018. 36 games unbeaten, Argentina. Incredible run. They only need 2 more games to break the world record for longest winning streak, or unbeaten streak rather, for an international side, which they could well get. They're facing Saudi Arabia, Mexico, Poland. Could get that in the first 2 fixtures. Their last run out before the tournament was a 5-0 win over the UAE being a proxy for their first group opponents, Saudi Arabia. Looking back over the last 5 fixtures, 19 goals scored, none conceded. They've won every game. So looking very, very strong. And unlike in previous World Cups where a lot is pointed at Lionel Messi to sort of carry the side, he's ably supported by a lot of great players in the Argentinian side. It really is a strong team. Speaking of Messi, with his last World Cup, 35 years old, a lot of people saying it's his last chance to win it. And he's already said this will be his last World Cup. Can he win a World Cup to cement his status as one of the greatest players, or the greatest player of all time? Alongside Messi in the team, a lot of familiar names and possibly even up to 4 Premier League starters in the opening fixture. Emilio Martinez, the Aston Villa goalkeeper, will be there. Alexis McAllister likely to start in midfield, the Brighton midfielder. We might see Lisandro Martinez, the Manchester United defender, as well. Probably Christian Romero, depending on injuries, but one of the two, I think. And also, I think you look at the Argentinian team, everyone talks about Messi being the star man, but keep an eye on Lautaro Martinez, the Inter Milan striker. I think there's a lot of goals in this group, and considering that Argentina is going to score a lot of those goals, I think he could well be a contender for the Golden Boot on the strength of a very strong group stage. It's not really a question of whether Argentina will get through the group. I think we're all agreed on that. It's just a question of how far they will go in the tournament, and we shall see. Well, here we are with the final wash-up for Group C, Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, Poland. You've heard my analysis, and probably going to go for Argentina to top the group. No surprises there. And I'm a little bit disappointed with myself, but I am going to pick Mexico to finish in second spot. But good luck to all four teams. Well, that just about does it. Best of luck to the four teams in Group C, Argentina, Mexico, Poland and Saudi Arabia. Be interesting to see which teams go through. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.